morning, everyone, and welcome to the travel and tourism video. So my name is Miss Huxford, and I am the teacher of travel and tourism here at Beacon Academy. Now, this is a new subject that's been introduced to our sixth form, so I'm just going to talk you through kind of what you can expect from there. So for the travel and tourism session, you will have 5 hours every week, and that will be with one teacher, which will be myself. Now, travel and tourism is actually the fastest growing industry within the UK, and it's highly multi-layered. So to reflect on that, you're going to be studying a range of topics. Now, they will range from global destinations through to the principles of marketing. So whilst it is a travel and tourism course, there will be elements of other studies included in this course, such as business studies, advertising, marketing, so therefore digital media, and ICT skills as well. The lessons themselves will be a combination of teacher-led and student research-led. So there will be elements of being in computer rooms and computer labs, as well as being in a more traditional classroom setting, working alongside myself or alongside your other peers that are taking the course to complete the different elements required of you. As well as that, you'll have the opportunities to speak with some subject and industry experts throughout this course. So we'll have guest speakers coming into the school to kind of advise you about what a position in the travel and tourism industry actually looks like, what kind of jobs you might be able to uphold, such as like travel agents, such as web designers, hotel managers, etc., etc. But we also may have the opportunities, restrictions permitting, to visit some of the UK tourist attractions to help us understand a little bit deeper about the ins and outs of how they run and why they are considered successful. So looking at them both from a travel and tourism sort of visitor perspective, as well as then the business side of those courses as well. So with the course breakdown then, it's important to note that the travel and tourism that's being offered at Beacon Academy for this year is a BTEC qualification. So it's a level 3 national extended certificate. And what that means is there's just a little bit of a difference in how this particular course is assessed and examined comparative to your A-levels. The course itself is still 2-year, so it works very much as an equivalent to an A-level. And it is UCAS accredited. So although our gradings are different and we work on a system of past merit distinction and distinction star, all of those gradings are then UCAS accredited. They hold a particular number of UCAS points that can then be used if you wish to go to university as your final educational destination. But also, with it being a BTEC, we do very much learn sort of the day-to-day running of travel and tourism, and we equip you with the skills required if you were to go straight into work, particularly within this industry or another business industry itself. So with this course, there are 4 components that will be studied throughout, and 2 of those are assessed externally and 2 are assessed internally. So Unit 1 is the one that we would start with, and this is to give us a broad overview of the world of travel and tourism. So that looks at kind of what travel and tourism actually is, what different types of that we can have, who the stakeholders are within the industry, and how they're involved. And it begins to understand exactly how big of a scale this industry works on. The accumulation of that unit is then one written examination in a very similar manner to the exams that you are used to, and that is then sent away, marked externally, and obviously graded there. We then have Unit 2 within this course, which is the Global Destinations unit. Now, this looks at the different locations around the world that are considered highly successful tourist destinations. We begin to unpick why those areas are the ones that are successful, and we also take a look at other countries and areas that are struggling to make themselves global destinations for travel and tourism. And this is examined via a controlled assessment piece of work. So unlike your typical exam, it's done in a setting, several hours, and then you are given a particular piece of work to create and complete. We then look at Unit 3, which is the Principles of Marketing in Travel and Tourism. So this unit particularly is very wide range of skills. So it uses business skills, obviously marketing skills, but it also uses understandings of advertisement, of research, of product placement, and all of those things. So understanding actually how is it that the destinations and the attractions that we see today, how are they functioning? How do they ensure that they're successful? And how do they ensure that they are fit for purpose in a ever-changing world? Now, that's examined via synoptic controlled assessment. So what that means is there's a pre-release material, you get given some information prior to the assessment, and you're then expected to be able to utilise that material alongside the information that you've gathered throughout the unit to then create a piece of work itself. And then finally, the fourth unit of this subject, is visitor attractions. So again, understanding globally and locally what visitor attractions are there around, why are certain attractions more successful and more appealing to people than others, but also what knock-on effect do they have? How do they impact on business, on marketing, on advertisement? How do they impact population and local areas? And that again is managed via a controlled assessment piece of work. So you'll see that the mandatory units are worth a particular percentage. So the mandatory units are units 1 to 3, and then unit 4 is the optional unit that we have chosen at Beacon. And you'll also see the external assessment is worth 58%. So only just over half of the course is done via sort of the more traditional exam format, and then everything else is internally assessed. If this was a course that you were particularly interested in, or you know that you would like to undertake in September, then the textbook that we're following, I'm just going to give some information about here, just so you can be prepared for undertaking this unit. So it's the Pearson BTEC National Travel and Tourism Student Book, which is linked on this document, which is available to you, and it will be used throughout 2 years. So if you were thinking about taking travel and tourism, I would highly recommend buying this book, ideally prior to starting in September, just because we do sometimes find with A-level textbooks, everyone orders them in September and then we end up with a little bit of a backlog, and you might have to wait several weeks without your textbook whilst that arrives. The final thing to mention is obviously with this being a BTEC, we do still have some sort of grade expectations for the course. So ideally we're looking for a grade 4 in English alongside a grade 4 in at least 4 other subjects. Now, if you had a GCSE in geography, that would be preferable. However, it is by no means essential. And we would be looking, if you did have the GCSE, for roughly, again, a level 4. But like I say, if you don't study geography, but you still feel that travel and tourism might be for you, then please do get into contact with me. Ask any questions that you might have about this course. My email can be found on the Beacon website. It's c.huxford@beacon-academy.org. If you need that, but like I say, it is on the website as well. Please feel free to send over any questions you might have, however little, however small, no such thing as a silly question. And hopefully I will see some of you in September.